This is for the nerds, this is for the brainiacs, this what we deserve. Go ahead and play it back, you ain't gonna touch me, you not gonna do nothing, you are not above me, I bet you wish you was me, I know that I know. Nerds, this is for the brainiacs, this what we deserve. Go ahead and play it back, I know it, I know.
All right, everyone, welcome back to the S4Y Vlogcast. Every Wednesday, 2 p.m. on the dot. We have a lot of things on the topic list today. Berkey forewarned me before the show to not let my feelings get hurt. Maybe he has something up his sleeve. I told him I'll fucking end the show. Like, you know, whoever our loyalist knows what's you know, shows just end sometimes. Like something gets said, we live, we just show's over. There's fucking 27 topics today.
Perfect.
So you better watch your mouth. All right. Couple of major announcements. I went through the chat from previous weeks. Someone told me to take Big Poppy out of here. That person is no longer with us anymore. He's banned.
R.I.P.
From all S4Y functions. I've gave him a full refund for his subscription site. I hope you're not mad about that. He's in nothing. He's completely gone.
Cost us like $15.
Yeah, his girlfriend hit me up too. Anyway, so we have a lot of topics, man. It's been a fun week. How are you feeling?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I like that shot in the intro. You out there flexing, you know, just really getting after it.
Yeah.
How's life been?
Life's good, man. I feel like my arms are bigger. That's all I can say. Like, I feel like my arms are bigger than it was on the screen. So that's progress.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? You got to add inches. All right. So, Berkey, you've been a major player in the streaming game this week.
We shut that shit down.
Yeah, I feel like you're streaming more than anyone has ever seen. Like, you're on like a path to
whoa. We got 1 month to do this, and then we're shutting it down for good.
Nah, but like that's like, remember when McDonald's brought like that
the McRib?
Yeah, the McRib.
Yeah,
like, you can't just get rid of the McRib. It's a legendary thing. Like at that point,
that's what they do.
Yeah, but
they just cycle the McRib.
Yeah, so that's
I'm like the Shamrock Shake. I come around for the World Series and then poof, gone.
We're talking about the McRib, not the Shamrock Shake.
They're both like seasonal things.
What's the Shamrock Shake?
Every like around St. Patty's Day, they do a Shamrock. It's just a mint shake.
A mint shake?
Yeah.
I never liked mint. I don't think Spanish people like mint. I'll tell you that right now. Like, it's like there's always like the mint and then there's like the coffee. Like the coffee cakes or whatever. Like you always get the coffee cake. It's probably cheaper too. It's probably cheaper. What? I'm just saying. Like,
I doubt it.
I'm just saying. All right. So you've been streaming. You got 1,000 likes. I saw that.
I bartered for 1,000 likes.
Is it bad that like, so this was it. You were like, oh, if I get 1,000 likes, I'm going to play high stakes cash.
Yeah.
You promised not to play high stakes cash almost ever on stream. You promised that one day, and then the next day you did it.
Yeah.
Because, you know, the game was good and you couldn't resist.
Right.
But yesterday you got 1,000 likes. I was trying to look out for you, man. I was just like, I unliked it when you said that.
Oh, that was you.
I was like, nah, bro, like, don't do that. You're giving them too much edge. Unlike.
When we got to like 994, it went to like 95, 96, and then down to 92.
Yeah, well, I made some phone calls. I'm like, yo, chill, bro. Like, this is high stakes, but nah, I'm glad you got it. And then you've been playing some tournaments.
Yeah, a couple.
All
of them. Literally all of them. Pretty much breaking even. Probably down a little bit in tournaments. It's tough to say. I'm sure, actually, I must be down in tournaments because I'm up 5K total since the streams have started. My account's up 5K. But I've won a fair amount of cash. Like, I won 12K in cash yesterday. I won 6K in cash the day we played 100, 200. So I'm probably down a solid 10 to 15 in tournaments, I would think.
But you won a tournament. Doesn't that mean you're winning in tournaments?
No.
Are you sure?
Bro, every day is like 4K worth of buy-ins, I think.
Nah, I don't believe you. Let's play the video of Berkey winning the tournament and then see if you still say the same thing after.
Okay.
So I want to play the video. Berkey wins a tournament. I think he kind of flexes his arm. I'm not really sure. Let's see what happens.
All right, you know what it is. We're back for another day of the WSOP grind. Oh, yeah. Guys, we're going to do it. I think we might win this one. Fuck with me. Fuck with me. I dare you. Vasamba. Vasamba. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Wait, how'd that money get in?
Dead. Oh,
Free?
give him the two.
They called my rip?
Slug us. Just hold. That'll do it. And then there were two. Let's fucking go, baby. We're gonna have this is the time. Let's do it. Domination Nation. Let's go, baby. Let's do it. We did it.
Congrats, man.
It's always cringy watching yourself clap for yourself. But no one else is there.
Yeah, who's going to do it for you?
There's 1,000 people watching, but no one else is in the room, you know?
So how'd you feel? You got 1,000 likes. You played a cash game. You won a tournament.
Yeah, it's been good. It's really been a good experience. I've been getting a little extra spicy every single day.
I've seen that. I feel like you're coming into your own.
No, I think it's a reflection of me gradually losing my mind.
Do you think it's a lot of work? Do you feel like it's a lot of work, like getting in there? I've said like I feel like I lose a little bit of an edge, like playing, because like it's just one, I can't play as many tables as I normally do, and then second, like there's this like little bit of my mind that's like I don't really want to explain this right now, like so,
Yeah, but just don't.
Mhm.
Like, you definitely give up an edge, but not because you're explaining shit.
Yeah.
That's, if anything, you might recoup a little bit of an edge by explaining stuff because it keeps you in check.
But it's not explaining things to myself. It's explaining it in a way that they understand why I'm doing something, and then
Yeah.
and then kind of hoping in a way that they agree with it.
But why? Why?
Right.
Like, that's not your job. It's the same as hosting this show, right? You're there to put on a show. So like, however you want to formulate that, go about it. Like, I do some explaining. I've had to rewatch all the streams to pull timestamps for the highlight show that we're trying to put together, and I explained more than I thought I did. That's for sure, but not nearly as much as like Poker Out Loud.
Right.
You know, it's not that in depth. It's just like, oh, we have 20 here and a pretty good hand. I think we're gonna 3-bet shove, and we just do.
Mm-hmm.
The running joke was every time Berkey says this is close, you can guarantee that he's gonna be all in, and that's probably pretty true.
They're probably batting like 800 on that one.
Yeah, maybe higher. I mean, I'm not gonna come into too many close spots and then just be like, oh, I'm gonna pass. Although I probably should. I would probably have like slightly higher success. But you know, whatever. It's like I see streaming as kind of an all eyes on you to run your own show, and it's this like weird cross between a podcast, a diluted training video, a ask me anything, and like just you playing a video game, all mashed together as one. And so like you just kind of have to let your personality shine and just like put that on display while allowing the poker to be the vehicle to.
Yeah, I feel like I'm all personality. No explain.
Then do that.
Like that's all I want.
That's a good stream.
You know, like I don't want to. Like it's like you know, like check back, bet the EVs are close, man.
No, but that's a good stream if you do that. Like I think you just get too overwhelmed by having to run the stream and play the game and carry the chat and all that other stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna start doing like you. I feel like sometimes you're like, you don't like you let the chat just chill for a little bit and then you get back to it later. You do your stories, you do your hands, whatever. I'm just like, what this motherfucker say about me? Like, you know, like, and I'm like, oh, I have aces.
Trolling the chat is like one of the best parts of the show. Like when you could just shower somebody, that's good. Like you get to you get to emote a little bit, you get to show a little bit of emotions. And it's generally in good fun. Like this fake rivalry that I've developed with Kerstetter is obviously like just in good fun, and it's a byproduct of a series of unfortunate events. But like you just get to carry on with it.
Let's take a look at that series of unfortunate events. I think we have some clips of that. I think it's gone a little viral. But for those of you that have not seen it, or for those of you that want to see it again, here you go.
Oh, shit. We're going to stick it to Jamie Kerstetter. Showers, blitz. Because, like, she could never have a better hand, obviously. Hit the showers. Oh, no. Oh, no. Jamie, how could you? How could you? We coming for her. Two. I'm talking so big. Like I'm bluffing her or something. She's just gonna have kings. Don't fucking do it to me, Jamie. God damn it. Let's go. God damn it, Jamie Kerstetter. God damn it, Jamie Kerstetter. I worked hard to get those chips. I wish there was a way I could flip her off that she could see. God, fuck Kerstetter. She gives us the old flat call. We get that squeeze in there. Okay, I've been down. God damn it, Kerstetter! God damn it! You've got to be fucking kidding me. What kind of magic witch juice have you drank? Jesus H. Christ.
All right, that was a great clip. You know, I think that was just that was pretty amazing. Like I saw it in real time, and I thought it was it was fun to watch. Obviously, it's not like super high stakes, so it's not like it's gonna hurt you or anything.
She's a witch.
Maybe she is a witch.
She's a goddamn sorcerer. And I don't know what she's done, but I need this curse lifted.
All right, if you all liked that video, like our channel, subscribe, follow us. Like I feel like we're so accessible nowadays. Like maybe a little bit too accessible, you know?
Way too accessible. Way too accessible.
It's like we're on TV, like not TV, but like we're on like the universe every day.
The favors I get asked, I would be rolling my eyes if you asked me for some of them.
Damn, all right, give me one.
No, because like they're so specific. Everybody will like
they'll know who it is.
Will know I'm calling them out.
All right, then just do them all. That way, you know what I'm saying? Like just do them all. But yeah, like this video, subscribe. Like we're trying to grow this thing. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like we're on here every single day. You're giving away 5%. You made me give away 5%. I was like, God damn, that's 5%.
What'd that cost you?
Like a nice takeout dinner. It was like $36 or something. You know what I'm saying? Like
wow.
I was like, damn.
Wow, big day for you.
Well, yeah, you know, I was like grinding there. I was like, cash. I don't even think I won for the day, and I still had to give away money because it's on cash, it's not wins.
That's right.
Maybe I won. I don't know.
Taxed.
I was just like, God damn, I'm here. I'm paying you guys to watch me.
Hey, we appreciate you getting in the streets.
Nah, man.
Finally streaming for the guys. I mean, I know it's a big ask. You didn't get no 1,000 likes, so it's not like you want to be in there.
Well, you can't be like Big Bet Berkey, you know what I'm saying? Like no one can compete with you, you know what I'm saying? Like it's just like you're like the next Jay Carver. So it's like Jay Carver's out there, like you think you're doing 30 days straight and then took a day off. Jay Carver was in there with a pee bottle under the thing. He didn't even get up for breaks. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, you're the social genius. You should have 2,000 likes.
Is this the part that you were trying to
get
me to?
100%.
I see what you're saying. Like this is the part you're like, oh, like let me get it in early so Chin doesn't end the show because it's way too early. Now, if I do it later and Chin gets mad,
I'm just saying if I flex on you a little bit, you're gonna get a little salty. You might get a little spicy. I don't know what's gonna happen moving forward. I'm just saying. You're a goddamn social genius. The people have come for Chin. We have a poster of you. We have a hoodie with your face on it. We got a pain scale. You're basically the company. Why? When do we get to see the Chin show?
Oh, I see. No, but like the people really like. Everyone has their thing, you know. I host the show. I get spicy. You host your own show. We all need our own show. You know what I'm saying? Every now and then I go on your show, and every now and then I let you on my show.
I see. Okay. Well, it's good to be a guest. I appreciate that.
Yeah, well, you know what I'm saying? Like sometimes I let other guests in. Like we've had guests earlier. If you haven't seen them, you can go back to our show. We've had Auntie Chardonnay. We've had D Moon. We've had Nate Silver. We've had a lot of people. You know, we've had Nick Howard sometimes.
Sometimes.
He's no longer with us. Just how it goes. But
Oh man.
we are super accessible, and that's gonna lead me into my next topic, which is kind of just like how things have changed. The new age poker player, the new age poker superstar, to the eyes of the people, not like Steven Chidwick, but to the eyes of the people superstar, like Daniel Negreanu back in the day. They're super accessible right now. They're not like, and I've told you this before, it's like, I would never have thought like, oh, I'm just going to tweet to Tom Dwan and just be like, yo, why'd you cold 4-bet Phil Humuth with the Jack 10 offsuit?
Right.
And then check the flop on Queen 10X and then bet 2/3 and then overbet the river and he called you with a 7. I would have liked to know. I would have definitely liked to know. I think that would have progressed my career. But let's play some of the footage we have. Some of the old school guys. They've been streaming a little bit, but it's not the same. It's not the same. So let's play that up. We have some new school from Lex, and then some old school from D-Negs and Mike the Mouth. So this is Lex. He's out there. This is like he broke the record for
Well deserved.
anything, right?
Yeah.
He made a huge W coup, I believe, or was it scoop?
Scoop.
And he's out there. He's like the new school guy, right? Not as accessible as like us though. He's just like.
I think he's pretty public. I think you can get a hold of Lex if you need to.
Okay, maybe you can, big bet man Berkey. Okay, so now the Mouth is out there, and finally D-Negs, he's doing like a little bit of a thing, but he's still the face of poker, putting out an hour vlog every day. Not as committed as you.
Yo, it tilts me that he sits in that seat. That is some psychotic shit. Who doesn't sit in the middle? At the bottom.
They tilted our seat today a little bit.
Yeah.
And I was just like, what's going on? Why am I like...
I never thought that Daniel was a sociopath, but after seeing that he sits in the far left seat, I might change my stance.
There's people in the chat saying they missed Nick Howard. I might just end this whole fucking stream. You thought you were gonna get you thought you were gonna get me mad with the likes? Like this shit's gonna be mad.
Can't
like,
look at the chat, man.
Nah, man. I'm interactive with the chat. You know, they show up here, they show us support. There's almost, you know, I'm hosting the show. We're almost at 1,000.
Wow.
You know?
Wow. Let's fucking go.
We're really at 200.
Okay.
But it's
Same
okay.
thing.
It's okay. They view it back. All right. So it's a major talking point though. Like I feel like there's tiers, right? So the old school brass, I guess, would you say they're trying to become more accessible, or is it just they're trying to stay relevant?
They're trying to stay relevant, right? Like not Negreanu. I think he just genuinely loves the game and wants to maintain his stranglehold on being on top. But everybody else has no churn behind them any longer. So Matusow doesn't have full tilt. Hellmuth doesn't have UB. They don't have Poker After Dark driving their profiles. They don't have that public eye any longer. But Twitch, YouTube, all these platforms that are social platforms effectively allow for that. The exchange in a social platform, though, is that you have to be social. So you become a lot more accessible immediately, right? You're not being advertised or, I guess, bolstered by a major conglomerate that's just putting a bunch of marketing dollars behind you any longer. Now, Lex kind of has both of those worlds pushing him, and I think that that's a big reason why he is able to elevate beyond most, outside of the fact that he's just a fantastic streamer, right? Like, it's just like he has great camera presence. He's done a really good job of building his career, but he also has a $1 billion conglomerate like investing in him and saying like, "You're our guy. We're going to make you the biggest in the world."
One of these days, I'm gonna have a major conglomerate here on my water, you know, and you could have one too, and it might be the same one. Maybe we have competing ones. Who knows? Be like depends which angle, you know. And then
I got an email today from a gum that helps you quit cigarettes, saying they loved our YouTube videos and would like to work together.
I would like them to like. I'm gonna write back and say, what was your favorite topic?
Right. That's a great fucking response, because like the email, it's obviously generic because it doesn't even say like, "Hey, your channel name.
Yeah.
It just says hey, comma, and then goes in to the body.
They're not even trying.
No,
Not even trying.
not even trying.
But I do want to say that I'm an equal opportunity. I've said this before. It's like I don't have a favorite. If you're with WSOP, if you're with GG, if you're with Party, if you're with Spotify, if you're with Apple Music, if you're with Google, if you're with Amazon, you're all my friends right now.
Mm-hmm.
But I need a best friend. I need a best friend. Yeah, man. So how do you feel about it? How do you feel about being like now more of like the new face? Like it was like Berkey in the beginning was like this like quiet, like at least people thought this of you. Like you were quiet, you killer mindset on the table, not talking much. Now you're out there yelling to the cameras, we did it. Like, is it different?
It's different, yeah. I liked being the person that nobody knew much about. I liked being like I was the same way in college. I'll never forget this. When I transferred to my new school, I just showed up and I just worked, and I was shy and I didn't talk, and it came off as like, I guess, gritty and a little bit unapproachable. And I remember going on the spring training trip after I had like, you know, basically like, or after the spring training trip, after I got to like kind of chill with everybody for a week and do a little bit more hanging out. I'll never forget our backup shortstop comes up to me and he's just like, I was terrified of you. But now I think you're just like such a marshmallow. And it's like, yeah, I like that old perception better.
Was that something you trained? Because at least for me, like I felt like I had to train table presence. Like I would like sit in front of the mirror with like my hand like this and like, yeah, bro, like I was legit. I wasn't fucking around. I was like, I need to see what they see, and if it's scary, you know. And I was like training table presence because I didn't like it was a real thing. Like I saw, I was like, I don't know. Phil Ivey looks scary. Tom Dwan looks scary. Patrick Antonio looks scary. I don't know why Phil Hellmuth doesn't look scary. So then I started, you know,
because Hellmuth is emotional. Those other guys come off as trained assassins. You know, it's like, yeah, I mean, for me, like intensity was never an issue. I grew up uber competitive. I was always fighting for the top rung on the ladder and was never naturally gifted enough. So I think that like kind of comes through. And then my natural persona is just like very shy and a little bit introverted. So I tend to not put words behind it. But when I'm comfortable and you get to know me, I'm super bolster. I'm a lot more rambunctious, I guess.
Yeah, you ride all the rides.
Yeah. Well, I'm also not shy of shit talking. Like if I'm comfortable around people, I don't mind flexing and I don't mind getting flexed on. I think that's like part of competition, and it's a big reason what drives us, you know. But that wasn't something that I yearned to share with the public eye. Like I think that that's for like your inner circle. Streaming changed that. You know, it's like I now have a pretty big inner circle in that kind of regard.
They're your inner circle.
Well, I mean, like in the sense of getting to know what my natural persona is.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Not in the sense that they're getting invited to Thanksgiving dinner.
I was about to say, like, they might just ask you for a little bit of money. Like
They always do, man. They always do.
All right, well, you got a little insight into the Berkey's DMs right there.
Can't tell you how many people I had to explain to over the last week that staking with a makeup deal at mid to low stakes is just absolutely unequivocally not a thing that anybody with money wants to do.
You're saying as the staker or the
Correct.
stakee?
As the staker.
Yeah, it's definitely like a favor. Like if you ever do it.
I'd rather loan the money. Not that I'm looking to loan money to anybody.
Yeah.
But it's just like there is no chance. I don't care if you're the best in the world. If you're asking for a mid to low stake stake, you're drawing dead.
What would you consider mid to low stakes?
Like capped games and below for cash. So anything capped.
200 NL? Like, oh, you're saying like live?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, like anything that's capped, I would say is too small. Rake is going to be too much of a factor. And then for like MTTs, like 500s and below.
500s, like live.
Live,
Right,
yeah,
right.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All this is live.
Yeah. Because live, online's different because you could just.
Well, also
play
just
so-
online, all these people are American. Online, I have zero interest. Like, unless you're top 3%, which you're not, otherwise you wouldn't be asking for this deal. You're just not making enough.
Do you think you could train like? So for me, like most of the people I like stake and stuff like that, like part of it is a favorite, part of it I like it, and part of it I think like they have potential to be good. And like if I help them a little bit,
You're just accepting a mentorship though, and that's great. You should put yourself in that position because you're good enough to. But I've done that, and I don't want to anymore.
Yeah.
I don't want any more Christian Sotos in my life. I'm happy with the one I got.
Oh, I'm glad you said that. I'm glad I'm happy with that I got you too. You know, Kick Rocks, Jay Carver, Kick Rocks, Vanessa Selps, all these motherfuckers.
I'm glad I was your third choice.
There was a couple more. I'm not gonna lie. There was a couple more, but they never responded.
Sure.
I'm just kidding. Actually, it was only 2. It was really only 2. It was weird. The way I was like, I need someone that plays tournaments and cash games.
No.
That's
you
what
picked
happened.
the spewiest people you could find.
Yeah.
You're like, yo, let me hit up Jay Carver, Vanessa, and Berkey, the 3 most aggro humans that aren't Tom Dwan.
Yeah, I knew what I wanted. What do you want? Like, it's like when I go look for a girl, I know what I want. It's like, all right, she needs to be mostly Cuban, pretty thick in the right spots, and like be kind of smart, but
What
not
is this fucking Build-A-Bear?
Listen, man, you got to know what you want. That's where you start. It's like you need this, you look for this, and then honestly, like some people believe in shit. I don't know if I believe in it, but like if you envision shit, sometimes shit comes to you. And for me, like I've always had the baddest chicks on my arm. So anyway, we're gonna get into our next topic, which is gonna be Mike Matusow just like really making a name for himself in these streams in like ways that are a little bit new.
Sure.
Ways that are a little bit new. So I'm going to play this clip. And for those of you watching on other podcast platforms that are just only audio, Spotify, Apple, whatever, first of all, tell them to hit us up. But second of all, understand that we're going to play a video right now, and you're mostly only going to hear the audio. So just enjoy the show. Play the clip.
He did. Wow, I'm dead. 7s, 8s. Now flop the 4. Oh my God. No spade. No spade. No. Oh, we're good. No 7. No 3 or 2. No! That did it again. They did it again to me. Are you fucking kidding me? I flop a set for the fucking second time, and they hit running straight.
Pete Phil help me from the background.
Fucking motherfucker.
Say good night.
What the fuck? Happy 4th of July, everybody. What the fuck? Oh, he did have aces. Oh, it was a fucking whole fucking jack off. And a fucking slow roll. This motherfucker. Wolverine 17. I'm gonna fuck him right in his fucking ass, man. Right in his fucking ass. I got this guy's name written down. I'm gonna find out who he is. I'll see him in person. I'll fucking knock him the fuck out. Think I won't? Watch. And I swear to you, I'm gonna throw him up against the fucking wall and tell him, you fucking ever slow roll me again, I'm gonna beat your fucking ass. If anybody in here can find the name of this guy and the actual truth of this guy, you guys will get an extra $50 bonus if you sign up in my home game. I'm on stream right now. I don't give a shit.
All right, well, Mike Matusow knows what he wants to do. He says, I'm going to fuck him in the ass.
Sure.
He knows what he wants. But, all right, on a kind of serious note, like, obviously, he's trying to put on a show, but part of his character is this as well. We saw him get slow rolled by Sean Deeb in a Poker Night in America earlier. He lost it.
Yeah.
Not earlier. This was, like, years ago.
Yeah.
Like, he lost it. He's emotional. You mentioned this earlier in terms of, like, table presence and things like that. Is he putting on a show? Or is this like part of who he is? Also, he has things that he's pushing, right? He just mentioned like, I'm going to give you $50 extra to go in my home game. He also has a podcast. He's trying to be the mouth again,
Yeah. So there's a lot for me to say on this. First, I think that like, I think it's unfair to, well, unfair is not the right word. He gets what's coming to him. He's done this to himself. But I think it's mean-spirited to recognize somebody who is emotionally invested in this game and then prey upon that. So, like, I think what Deeb did to Matusow was fucked up because he's not in on the joke, right? Like, it's not good fun for Matusow when he gets slow-rolled by somebody like Deeb because he's truly emotionally invested. It's probably case money. Like, you just shouldn't prey upon that kind of stuff for entertainment.
Why do you think that? Because some people would say it's a cutthroat game. Like, if I could get you off your, what is it called, a kilter? off your kilter.
Off kilter, yeah.
Yeah, then like that's good for me. You might lose.
Yeah, fine, but like Deeb's a big favorite over Matusow to begin with. Like he did it for the show. It was a new show. It was entertaining. It's an iconic moment now. But it all comes at the price of Matusow's sanity, in my opinion. So I don't know. I don't like preying on the weak. Slow roll me. Slow roll somebody that can take it.
I had a pretty famous slow roll against D-Neck.
Yeah.
The first time I was on Friday Night Poker on PokerGuru, like we played a medium hand, and I bet the river, and he tanked. He had 2 pair, and he called, and I said, "You're good," and he's like, "Yeah, you know," and then he tabled his hand, and then like I slowly just tabled my hand, and he's like, "No," like, but he's D-Negs.
That was bold.
Oh man, this is the thing. Like, I don't give a fuck. I'm probably the least known person there at the time, and it's like D-Negs sitting with 100 stacks, like just like balled out.
You're that prick young kid though.
Yeah, and I'm just like, I'm coming for you, man.
Yeah.
Like I led the flop on some gangster shit, and then like check the turn, bet river. You're good. He's like, oh, I got the young kid, bro.
I mean, the stakes are small enough that hopefully D-Negs can take that as a joke and things like that. It's difficult to know who can handle it and who can't. But also, like, I think that this is the difference between doing it to Helmuth and doing it to Matusow. They're both the same character types. They're both overly emotional.
D-Negs, but yeah.
No. I'm using Helmuth as an example.
Oh, okay.
Helmuth and Matusow are both overly emotionally invested in the game. It hurts, et cetera, et cetera. The difference is that Helmuth can take it, and that's a byproduct of the life that he's created for himself. We know Matusow's situation. It's not great.
Not anymore though.
Yeah.
All right, maybe. I don't know. It seems like he's in a new space.
Yeah, he's maybe a little bit more able to play, a little bit more healthy, whatever. He has a good support system, but it's not like he's fucking rolling in it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's my whole thing is like when people are putting up amounts of money that they can't lose, I don't like the idea of fucking with him. But we're way off topic because the fact of the matter is, in this particular instance, he didn't even get slow rolled. She was just multi-tabling and playing a lot of hands and just came back to aces and probably just like can't believe her luck.
Yeah.
And, slowly called him, whatever. The bigger issue at hand here is, in my opinion, not his emotional outburst. Like, okay, I think it's out of line to threaten sodomy, and mainly just because like the premise behind it is that it's so emasculating to sodomize another person that it's a threat.
Speak to the people. Like, what do you mean by sodomizing?
Nah, man, I said I was gonna say it. Now I'm not gonna say it.
What do you mean by sodomizing, man?
I'm not gonna say it. They can look it up. Google it. But the thing is that whatever, man. Like, I really felt like I was peering in on an Alex Jones show. You know what I mean? And Mike is a byproduct of Fox News. He's regurgitating all of this fucked up, extreme conspiracy theory bullshit, right? And that part speaks to a certain audience that enjoys him. And the issue now becomes like, everybody wanted to cancel Mike over this. I don't think you should cancel Mike out of this. But I think he should learn a lesson. I think that he absolutely should suffer consequences for, effectively doxing this poor girl, right?
Right.
So that's the line for me.
Yeah.
It wasn't saying like, if I see this person in real life, I'm going to fuck him up. Matusow's not winning that fight.
No.
Even against her. He is a crippled old man now. Like, know your fucking position, know your lane, right? You know what I mean? It's like you're talking a lot of hard shit, and he's going to end up getting knocked out one of these days. And, maybe that'll teach him a lesson. I don't know. But the whole point that I'm trying to say is, in this particular instance, his mouth runs because that's what he does, and then he just apologizes later. Not good enough, right? Not good enough because now you're doxing somebody. What if somebody had taken it a step further and found out where she lived and showed up to her door, right? And, done unspeakable things. And for those of you guys who don't understand how serious doxing can be, there have been significant instances where gamers have doxed other gamers, calling SWAT, saying that there was like a hostage situation at a house. SWAT shows up and kills the gamer. This has happened more than once, right? So like it's a serious thing. And when you unleash the internet on another human being, even though that information's public, anybody could have Googled her screen name and found that that real name, whatever.
Not the mouth.
Right, but now it's yeah, obviously. But now it's with intent, right? People aren't just trying to find her for the sake of finding her. Now they're trying to find her because there's this bounty.
Yeah.
That Matusow, and obviously he didn't know it was a girl, but it doesn't matter, right? The only difference is that if it's a guy, he wants to fist fight them.
Right.
Right. But it's 2020, man. Like, that shit doesn't fly. And also, especially not when it's all hot air. If it were me and he just like shows up in my door ready to push me up against the wall and tell me never to slow roll me, it's like, get the fuck out of here, Mike.
Yeah, you get 3 dogs to your fucking leg.
I mean, it's just like, he's not going to do anything is my point. And when somebody with a big mouth like that speaks first and apologizes later, it's okay when things are innocent. But like, it's not all that innocent now. And on top of that, when he comes to the realization that he's not winning any fist fights, how much further does this escalate, right? How much further does it turn into like, well, I'm Mike Matusow, I'm strapped. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think it gets to that point. You know, I don't want to imply certain things, but it's just like, if he gets to a point where he talks himself into a corner of having to watch his back, now all of a sudden this turns into some like random violent episode because he got fucking slow rolled in a poker game.
I feel it, man. I agree. I think that there's, like you said it really well. Like, he doxed this person. It obviously didn't escalate, but it could.
I think it didn't escalate just because it was a female, which is good. Thank God there's a fucking line, right?
Yeah.
But like, you know, where do we draw it? Like, why wouldn't a male deserve the same sort of apology, deserve the same sort of protection from the mass, right? We all swarmed when we found it was a woman. And we're like, hey, now in retrospect, everything you said, he doubled down. He finds her on Twitter, calls her a cunt, and basically just like tells her she's an awful human being. And she handled it so gracefully. Just literally laughed and said, wasn't even trying to slow roll. And that was it.
Yeah. Because
that was it.
It wasn't. Like,
right.
Anyone that plays online understands, like, okay, she probably has like 6 tables going. She's in the middle of another hand, comes back, sees aces, clicks call.
Yeah.
And like Matusow's over there on a stream saying like, oh my God, she's slow rolling.
Because the whole world's about him. Right? Every single second of that clip was simply about how it impacts his current state.
But the main thing, this is, okay, I want to know, if I win a WPT title and I win bracelets, are you going to have a poster of me behind you?
Bro, I got a poster of you now. You haven't done shit.
Hey, man.
I just got you with different expressions on your face.
Yeah, well.
I'm out there. I got you.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. Now that I think about it, maybe I should have a poster. I mean, fuck you, man. You're all over this place. Like, there's a bat here, Matt Berkey.
That was a gift.
Bat.
That was a gift.
Next, you're going to fucking change this thing behind me to something of you.
Now I'm going to add another goddamn award. We better get a fucking award. Man, I don't know for what. We should have got one for Results May Vary. I can't believe it wasn't even nominated.
If y'all haven't seen Results May Vary, go back to our videos. It's about WSOP. So it's like, there's no WSOP now. It's probably a good thing to go back. Looking at it now, like I feel like I lost like 30 pounds since then.
You have, at least.
Well, that's a good thing.
Probably more.
All right. Our next topic is about WSOP, actually. And it's WSOP North America. We'll call this WSOP North America this time. And there's been a lot of complaints still. It's still a lot of complaining. Mostly about a couple things. One, we've spoken about this, and there's no guarantees. But 2, these events are going long as hell. Like,
I don't think. I just think they start too late.
Well, that's why they're going long.
I don't think they're long at all. They're 11 and 12 hour tournaments. That's standard.
Yeah. Not long in terms. Sorry, they're going late.
Sure.
Late. So if you're on the East Coast, you're finishing at 6.
Yeah.
You know, that sucks.
Yeah.
Also, like the schedule still feels as if, how would I say this? Like, maybe they could have done more.
It feels a little light.
It feels light, right?
I mean, I think they've done a great job with the OC. Like yesterday's schedule, I feel like they could put out every day.
Yeah. But some days it's just like
Sundays and Tuesdays are huge slates. I think I played like 7 or 8 events yesterday.
But usually Sundays and Tuesdays are normally huge slates.
Right. And I guess what I'm saying is like you have everyone's attention now.
Yeah.
Maybe outside of like Mondays and Fridays. Actually, that's not even true. Fridays should be a peak day now because you're running bracelet events for the working person.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like they could run out yesterday's schedule almost every single day. And it was a 1K, two 500s, a 100K guarantee, a 50K. So they had two 50K guarantees, which were a 1K and a 500, a 100K guarantee, which was a 500, a 75K guarantee, which is 215, the bracelet event, and then like 3 turbos that were all at least 25K guarantee, and then another 250, which was a 40K guarantee. That's a huge slate. I mean, yeah, the guarantees, they're not massive, but they were all doubled. At least the 215 got like I think like 140,000 in the prize pool. The 1K was well over the 50K guarantee, probably closer to 100, maybe even more.
Do you think they just didn't gamble? Like they just didn't gamble. Like they put the guarantees super low. Like they know they're gonna hit it. They're doubling the guarantees.
That's fine. That's fine. Who gives a shit? That doesn't matter. That's just a marketing thing, right? My issue is
Well, I'm
what
saying
they're offering.
there's no guarantees on bracelets, and there's low guarantees on other events.
Right. And what I'm saying is that doesn't matter. Like the players keep putting an emphasis on that, but who gives a shit? People are still showing up, right? The guarantees are just to bring people in the door. Yeah. Nobody's not coming because there's no guarantee.
The argument is like if you raise the guarantee, it feels like the company's taking a chance. People do come in the door.
Why do they need to take a chance?
Because other people are taking a chance. There's ACR.
Yeah, because other people aren't WSOP.
Well,
ACR has a wide net to cast from to bring in new players. You have to understand WSOP taking a gamble.
Don't be yelling at me, dog.
Well, because I think that this is very clearly misunderstood by the community. WSOP taking a gamble. There's only so much they can widen their net. You have to be in Jersey or Nevada.
This is the thing. This is what people are saying. You can't just keep saying like we're WSOP. At some point, we're Sony. We do we're Sony, and then like Samsung comes in and eats their lunch. You know what I'm saying? Like that's kind of what people are arguing. ACR is putting out
in a free market. That's true.
A huge thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, ACR is a little bit gray, but global is not. Global is legal. You know what I'm saying? So like, let's look at the ACR schedule. Let's pull up the graphic of the ACR schedule. Huge guarantees. Looking at 15 million online series from June 14th to the 28th. Huge OSS. Then global comes in, and they fire up their own big thing here, which is like, I see the graphic here, like 500. Wait, that looks way too big for me. That looks okay, but around like 2.25 million in guarantees. Like effectively, like people are putting out guarantees. You're making the argument of,
well, first of all, their OC alone is over 3 million, so it already is bigger than global.
Yeah.
And they're only in 2 states. Global's nationwide. So
you think they're?
I think the guarantees are just marketing ploys. It's literally nothing. ACR's 15 million guarantee. Who the fuck cares? WSOP is going to have 50 million worth of guaranteed events, not guaranteed events. 50 million worth of prize pools over this month. Every bracelet event has been over 1 million, with the exception of the 08 in the prize pool. So like that's at least 31 million right there. Who cares if they guarantee it? So if they guaranteed everyone at 1 million, you'd be happy and say like, oh, we have 31 million worth of guarantees. They'd be lowballing it by so far.
Hey, man.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Why are you yelling at me? I'm speaking for the people, man.
Right? Well, you're getting the feedback.
Don't kill the messenger. You know what I'm saying?
Man, it just doesn't matter. The guarantees aren't a risk. They're just a marketing ploy. ACR is not making guarantees they're not going to meet. ACR has
this. They don't. They miss them sometimes.
Sometimes, but not by much.
They missed a couple of those 215 millions. Like they missed a couple. Like they miss.
And then they pull it. Now it's not even a thing.
Yeah, well,
it's not there.
They're setting up for like their Venom series.
Setting up? You stop running 1 million guaranteed to set up for a guarantee?
Seems like,
that's insane. They just don't want to compete with WSOP right now.
Right. It's a smart move.
No, it's not. You should be crucifying them. They could be drawing attention away from a regulated market that's only available in 2 states.
Right.
They're choosing not to. They're saying like this will be our downtime. Yeah. So I don't understand this. None of this makes any sense to me. Like why? Number one, why would the WSOP take any risk with minimal reward? They can only physically get so many people.
Right.
And no one in Jersey or Nevada that wants to play online poker is not playing these events.
Right, of course. They're going to play regardless.
Right. So the ceiling isn't much higher than what they're already achieving. So there's no need to market.
Do you think if they did like raise the bar a little bit, that people would travel to these places because they do want the bracelet, they do want these big guarantees?
I don't think that anybody's not traveling due to a lack of guarantee. Everyone knows these events are going to be big. I think that they could do a better job of building out a bigger schedule that caters to people playing bracelet events. These bracelet events are big buy-ins, and the bulk of their schedule is,
medium-ish,
20K guarantees and below.
Right.
And it's like that just doesn't move the needle for somebody playing mid to high stakes.
Right. So we would like something where we potentially don't have to go to ACR.
Right.
Potentially don't have to go, because like I'm opening up both clients.
Right. I want an 8 table.
Right.
And I just can't.
Yeah. So I'm opening up, like I have 3 WSOP, 5 ACR.
Right.
It's like I would rather just have the huge buy-ins on WSOP and maybe not have ACR.
Yeah.
And if for ACR side, if they put up big buy-ins with like big guarantees, maybe I don't play.
So that's the part where I'll agree with you. I don't think they gambled hard enough on their side schedule and making those guarantees attainable and large. So they did the 215 every day. I think that's a great addition. I think they could literally pump out a Tuesday slate and a Sunday slate every single day, and they'll smash. And then I think if they want to up the Sunday slate more than it already is, add a warm-up, add a second chance, something similar to what we saw pre-Black Friday on a full tilt or stars, I think that they would absolutely just crush.
Yeah, I think that would be amazing. And if they do that and maybe, lower the rake a little bit, give us a little bit of breathing room, I think people would love it. People would be really happy.
Yeah, you can focus on the rake thing all you want, but it's literally one event a day. You're playing, like I'm playing 6 to 8 events on there, where 7 of them are low or normal rake, and 1 is high.
Well, I'm saying if they add these things, like also, just uniform the rake, and then everybody be pretty happy. They're gonna make more money anyway.
I don't know enough to know if this is a juggling act to protect liquidity or not, right? Where it's like one of those things where, and this is going to carry us into the pads conversation of when is too much, right? Like at what point do you start to strain your ecosystem due to the fact that you're offering so much that people are just going busto firing?
I'm not gonna let you call the show. You know what I mean? Like the topic is I have an order. Okay.
Just know you're replaceable.
As well as the.
I can do everything.
You can try to do everything. Last week you were like, "Yo, Chin, I need you to put out 1 video a week so I could do other things and things like that." But now you're like, "Oh, you're trying to flex," you know what I'm saying? But we mentioned that when you flex on people, it's because you really love them. So I really appreciate you. You have a nice Yo, no phones allowed in this building.
Shout out to my man Jamin.
Shout out to your man, PokerGuru, who won a bracelet.
Oh, we're just gonna skip over that natural transition, and we're gonna come back to this stuff.
Well, I have a pre-production meeting with my people, and they wanted me to touch on this because it's a big deal.
Sure.
All right, PokerGuru, who you've called out before for playing a hand poorly, wins a bracelet. Not only wins a bracelet with you commentating on him winning the bracelet. 1, you're really unlucky. 2, you and I both watched in real time. Couple things I want to talk about. First, him winning the bracelet, and then second, which was a sidebar of like what actually happened in that situation. You and I both know what we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
So first, let's talk about PokerGuru winning this bracelet. Obviously, big deal. But honestly, you dominated the conversation. Like even running up, like the run up to his bracelet was, like his beef with Berkey.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like it was even like the Berkey beef guy. Like, like,
that was Platt's doing.
Well, still, like it's. I mean, I think he's doing a great thing
In the bracelet event.
All right, so he wins a bracelet. He tweets about it. You were kind of the talk of the show. What did you feel? Did you feel like it was like
Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. I mean, this is an elementary schoolyard fight. Like I don't dislike the guy at all.
It wasn't like Holyfield and Tyson. Like it wasn't.
No. I think it sucks that it was even a conversation. Like this guy's doing something that is going to be a major bullet point on his resume. I shouldn't be in the conversation at all. From what I saw, I thought he played incredibly well. I think that it was he was by far the most accomplished player at the final table, and it was a very profitable situation for him. Like when he came into that final table with that many chips, I was like, this is going to be difficult for him to not win. And there were a couple hands that he ran some pretty exploitative lines on. that were good. They were really good. They were basically lines that were necessary to be able to pull the trigger on in real time because his opponent was allowing him to do so.
Yeah, certain hands that come to mind. There was a 7-3 of diamonds hand where like villain ends up like making a bet, whereas probably should have checked.
He check called, and then like led half pot on river.
And then Guru ends up like shoving all in.
Yeah.
So yeah, for sure. Yeah, it was fun to see a little bit of the, I don't want to say rivalry because it's not a rivalry, but it was like a little bit of like the WWE kind of thing where it was like, okay, like there's a little bit of a beef. It kind of like,
no, I think that shit's good for poker for sure. And you know, he gets his time in the spotlight. Like he won up me. He has a bracelet. I don't. He won 2 tournaments in a day. I haven't. Like these are things that he should be very proud of and kind of let him hold
Does
his
it
head
push
high.
you a little bit more?
Yeah.
Like pushes you a little bit?
Yeah.
Like you really want
I said this to you. My response to you was that, you know, he gets his moment in the sun now. He gets to kind of like puff his chest and say, I was right all along. And that's fair. He deserves it. He earned it. But at the end of the day, like, this is all in my hands.
Mm-hmm.
If I just go win a bracelet tomorrow, it just all flips right back.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. And it's like, that's the beauty of sports. That's the beauty of sports narratives. The narratives that get built in any sort of competition. Not trying to say poker is a sport, but like any sort of competitive environment. That's the narrative that media builds. That's the narrative that naturally builds. And I think that we need a lot more of it. You know, I've kind of been saying that the old guard's irreplaceable because they had so much churn from big corporations and multimedia and things like that. And that's true. But they did a fucking great job of hamming it up, right? Like we knew who the rivals were in the game back then. We knew it was Phil Hellmuth versus the world. We knew
it was very much Phil Hellmuth versus Tom Dwan. He hated Tom Dwan. Like, it was like this new kid.
Yeah.
It was like,
yeah. And like we knew that why can't I think of his name right now? The crabby old guy.
Crabby old guy?
His name will come to me later, I'm sure. But like, you know, we got to see
about Doyle like that.
No, not Doyle, not that old. But like we saw like the crew become a thing with like Scott Fishman and Dankness and all those guys when they were coming up and like they were the hot ticket on the scene. And I just think
Robo, you're saying like that kind of crew?
No, the crew was literally a thing, like the crew, just like Andrew Robo and those guys were ship at Hall of Ballas.
Yeah, okay.
Read that book. Everybody needs to read that book. It's incredible. You'll get a whole new image of Phil Galfond.
He probably doesn't want that book out. Like.
Right. Trying to scrub the internet out.
Yeah, for sure.
I think there was a story of one of them got prop bet to run naked through the Niagara Falls casino in Fallsview.
Wow.
They were like 19 and just did it. It's very good. But anyway, the whole thing I'm trying to circle back around is that these things are great. They are narratives. They help Jeff Platt's stream not be just Jeff Platt talking about like, oh, look at what other big name made it deep in a bracelet event. You guys should care because we've somehow ordained these bracelets to be the only thing that matters in poker.
For sure.
Like imagine if it weren't just bracelet events. Imagine if Jeff just did this for every tournament that played down, right? Like he just has like 12 tables up and he's like, look, Berkey's deep in the 5K guaranteed $10 rebuy. And like tries to make a story out of it.
I think they would have to start paying Jeff to do this. Like
For sure.
Okay. I do remember the guy that he punched Hellmuth. It was Sam Grizzle.
Yes, that's who I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sam Grizzle.
Sam Grizzle. Yeah.
Sam Grizzle loves us though, man. He was he was at the Win playing 510.
Yeah.
Sitting with like $800 or whatever. And we were just there. And you know, like the regulars, whatever, he jumps in and we're sitting like pretty stacked up, you know, it's an uncapped game. And he's just he's something, man. He loves us though. He's like, I like you guys, man. He's like, you don't play like them.
I have an epic Sam Grizzle story. And fact check me if you will, because I don't know. I heard it secondhand from Todd Brunson. Like, this must have been 8 years ago now. I got dinner with Todd Brunson and Berto. They were good friends. And Todd tells me this story about Grizzle, where he's at the Commerce, and he's playing in this 800, 1600 stud game. And I can't remember who was backing him at the time, but whoever it was, Grizzle was like buried and finally got out and was like a small winner. So he was like a $3,200 winner, like 2 big blinds, right? Or 2 big bets. And his backer comes and like physically pulls him.
Wow.
And Grizzle's like, I'm not leaving. And the backer like just takes all of his chips, leaves him with his 1 big bet.
That's crazy.
Brunson said he runs this big bet up to like 150,000.
That's so
Something insane like this, right?
Oh my Lord.
And then busts it. Busts the whole thing. Has like $500 left. And this is like going on 36 hours or something like that. Goes and registers the tournament that they're running. This must have been like during LAPC or something. And wins it for like 30K.
Oh, I've heard this too.
Goes
I've heard
back
that
to
little
the
piece.
stud
Yeah,
game.
yeah, I've heard this. It was crazy.
Dusts it off. And as he's walking out, has to ask somebody for cab fare.
That's so wild. I don't think we'll ever hear those stories again, man.
No.
Like people are
No.
just too like. There's no like at Bellagio. Like everyone's fucking drinking green teas. Like I'm serious. It's just like one guy goes, "Can I get a green tea?" And then like 5 of us, "Oh yeah, me too, me too." And it's like, "Me too." Like motherfucker, fucking play a hand.
Yeah. The thing is too now, like the cliques that form within this community do a pretty good job of protecting one another. So like they don't let those stories out, and unless you're a Twitch streamer who's willing to divulge your own, they just like never get out there. Like I've played some epic fucking spots in Ivy's room with kids taking shots where it's like I know that they just busted their roll, or they at least put a big hurting on their roll and 6 of their friends. You know, like there are some guys that just fire, but like I'm even hesitant to say who they are because like I don't know how much.
You don't know whose life you could be ruining.
Yeah, like I don't know, like I don't want to be critical of anybody, especially somebody who's in there gambling and losing. What if their backer hears it and is just like, "Oh, I knew you were a losing player. Like you probably been lying to me, yada yada, whatever." Right? But it's like I've played some hands with people who I know aren't super rich, and I'm just like, whoever's money this is needs a fire extinguisher because you can't torch it fast enough.
It's true.
But like, you know, that's how those games run.
I feel like it's so weird. Like it's.
But like
There's-
Grizzle was known for that. So
Yeah,
like
yeah.
people will just tell those stories because it's like people still take shots.
And it
with
was
them.
easier to just get money, right?
Right.
It was just like if Grizzle busts, like he'll find another good spot and like
Yeah.
whatever. Nowadays it's like
Chino's the modern day version of that.
yeah, but Chino's like I've said this before. Like I think Chino's talented. Like
Yeah.
I wouldn't back.
But Grizzle
Chino.
was probably talented back
Yeah,
then.
that's true.
He turned 1 big bet into fucking 100.
That's talent. That's fucking talent. Those things just don't happen now. Like,
No.
I also feel like there's a like within the high stakes, there's a little bit of like you don't step on somebody's toes kind of thing. Like
Unless it's me, man.
yeah, that's true.
People fucking come at me. I don't
But
give a
I've
shit.
seen some shit like I told you some of the things I've seen. Like I'm like, yo, I've seen this dude fuck over his backer. For
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah,
It's
100%.
like this dude.
Like he's already buried 50K in the
Yeah.
game, and then he starts texting his backer, "Hey, I'm about to sit in this game."
Yeah, I'm like, bro, I just saw that. Like,
Right.
And I saw it right there. Like,
Just straight free rolling.
yeah, I'm like, I
He's
could
just gonna play on his own dime if he won.
Yeah, and it's like I saw that 100%. I could have took. I should have just been like,
Yep.
and then be like, dude, I'm fucking blackmailing your ass. Like,
You better get me in every fucking game.
I'm playing every fucking game. I'm gonna get the best seat,
Yep.
or your fucking backing deal's over. Not gonna say who it is. Y'all can't blackmail me. All right, pretty wild. But back to the stream. Finish out that topic. You mentioned something that got a little bit spicy.
Oh yeah.
You mentioned something that got a little bit spicy. Dude's playing Guru Heads Up. He's playing what we would deem to be suboptimal.
Oh, he's a wreck. He was. I think Tuck said he was a real estate
Yeah,
agent. Or
he's a
something.
real estate mogul now.
Yep.
He's not playing what you deem to be the best strategy.
Sure.
You start mentioning on stream like, oh, I think he should raise. I think he should raise more pre-flop. I think he should be making bigger calls. Then, ironically, right after, couple things happen. He starts raising pre-flop. He makes a big call with like 4th pair to the board, which was actually a good call. Results oriented doesn't matter, but it was a good call. Then a couple minutes go by. Big homie, the real estate agent, is like coming back. He takes the lead.
Yeah.
And you start saying on stream like, oh, I'm starting to feel a little bit like not comfortable because I feel as if maybe I'm influencing something.
Mm-hmm.
And then pick it up from there. Like, what happened?
So what happened is he took the chip lead and then he limped the button. And I was like, like whenever he was behind, this made a little bit of sense. But now that he has the chip lead, he really needs to leverage his position and understand that like playing big pots in position is more critical than playing big pots out of position. And the very next button he opens, and it was the first button he had opened the entire session. It's like, okay, he's listening. That was the aha moment where it's just like, he has to be watching. Like, there's just no way he's not. And even if he's not, now I'm aware of it. And so, like, even if this isn't a thing, even if he's not listening to a single word and it just was happenstance that was the order of events, I still understand now we're in real time and we have the potential to influence action. So I just stopped. I was like, Tuck, we're in real time, right? It's like a 3-second delay. I go, okay, so they can hear everything that we're saying. And he's like, yeah. I was like, okay, so me talking strategy while they're in the middle of the hand could easily influence their action. And he kind of dismissed it like, they got this far, they're not going to listen to you kind of thing. It's like, that's not the point at all.
Yeah, even it doesn't matter. Like, okay, say for example, I'm there and I consider myself pretty good, and maybe there's someone that's even worse than me commentating. He might say something that might trigger.
Right, it's all subconscious.
Yeah, it's like he might say he might say something that I'm not catching in the real heat of the battle.
Right.
He's there like, oh, if you have the 4 of spades here, you probably could do this.
Exactly.
And I'm like, oh yeah, that's right.
Right.
And I just pull the trigger. It doesn't matter if he's better than me or not.
Exactly.
He could just say something.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, and this is why live streams are run on delay. Right? So it's just like, this is no different than us having whole card. I mean, we don't have whole card information. That's really the only difference here. So I'm speculating. But I'm good at my craft. My speculation is worth something. So again, like, even if it's only ever so slightly influencing in some sort of way, shape, or form, it's really fucked up. And I was just immediately like, yo, this is really unfair to Guru because, whether or not this guy's listening, I'm going to potentially influence his action way more than Guru's. Right? Like, between the two of them, one of them is very confident and sound in their strategy, and the other one just seemingly is not. So it's just like, this is pretty shitty. Like, whatever his EV is in this heads-up match, it's got to get reduced if this guy's effectively getting ghosted. So I just, clammed up.
How did you feel? Like, I was, like, proud of you for doing it, I'm from DR. I don't know if I could have done it. Like, this dude got beef with me, I would have been like, yo, dog, sorry, bro. Like, yeah, maybe I influenced it, but, like, you guys are good players. You guys are heads up, He could run up. Like, even Stan Grizzle did it. Fucking one big blind to 100,000, whatever. But okay, the chat starts going like a little bit against you at that point. It's like they're saying like, "Oh, you think it's all about you? Like, this isn't about you. Like stop making it about you, whatever." And you were like, "They could talk all the shit they want. Like, this is the real deal." Like, how'd you feel like when people turned against you there for a second?
I mean, I don't care. I don't care. Like, people are gonna create whatever narrative they want. The facts are just gonna remain. Like, this is not within the realm of integrity any longer. And that's all that matters is making sure that the game has integrity. So it's like, my job as a commentator is never to compromise integrity.
For sure.
And so, it's, and again, like, I'm unemotional about the Guru thing. I just don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Like, I think that the beef was spurned out of a lot of unprofessionalism. And, the vast majority of it was, I thought he was a lot of hot air. And, it is what it is. But at the end of the day, it's like, I'm not going to take money out of his fucking pocket that I don't deserve. Like, I'm not beating him at that point. You know what I mean? I would effectively maybe be helping somebody else. Like, that doesn't interest me at all.
Yeah.
I don't care if he wins this bracelet or not. That doesn't mean anything to me. So, like, get yours. You deserve to win this. You are the better player who had a chip lead. Heads up. Like, I certainly don't want to have any influence in compromising that. And the chat, like, saying, like, oh, you're taking credit for this guy run up. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying that we're compromising the integrity of this heads-up match.
Whether it's happening or not.
Right. Whether it's happening or not, the availability for it to happen is taking place. And that's a massive oversight that needs to be corrected. And until it is, I'm just not going to say anything strategic anymore.
Call you young integrity. That's your new name.
Sure.
Young integrity.
I wish I were young.
I mean, you're still less than 40, man. That's
Right.
young.
What happens whenever that's not true anymore?
Then you just bag a bad chick that's like about 29.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just feel younger, you look younger.
Right.
Your testosterone goes up because you're looking at something nice every day.
Mm-hmm.
I got it planned in my head, man. I got it planned in my head. I already know how my 40's going to look.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Cuba, baby. All right. So, our next topic is it's a fight for the cash grab, man. Like, everybody's online. Everybody is excited to play online poker, you know, not only because of the COVID, but it's also tournament season, you know, and everyone wants a piece of the pie. Like, all the big corporations want a piece of the pie. And some people are having some thoughts, even some executives at some places like that. So first, the players are saying, you know, this is going to run out, liquidity, the backers are going to run out of money. And Pads was the first one to put this out. And he put out the tweet. This was a little while ago. And then he followed it up again a couple days ago, like maybe now a couple weeks ago. But he's effectively saying, like, you know, he's been watching things for 2 months. And he's saying, like, you know, there was an opportunity, but it's not the same anymore. Like, the money's going to dry up. The backers are going to go broke. Like, there's a lot of things going on. So many rebuys, all these things. And Rob Young, who's also part of the Party Poker, you know, collective there, as well as Pads, excuse me. He says, like, okay, things need to start changing. And he puts out his own tweet recently. And he starts saying, like, okay, like, these are the list of things that the community needs to change, like, and why all these other online sites are doing these money grabs. They're increasing reentries. They're increasing, artificially increasing the prize pools, letting people sign up with 5 bigs, like, effectively letting all these reentries be unlimited, adding levels to the structure. We see this with ACR. They add, like, the 550, 1050 level, like. Which is why I'm like, yeah, I like these structures, you know, like, but they cater to the pros, right? The pros are going to like the structure. They could get in longer. They have backing deals that are definitely going to let them fire. And it hurts long-term the ecosystem,
Sure.
is what Rob Young is saying. Let's have that conversation first, because the conversation is, we want big guarantees. We've heard this before. The sites are like, we want big rake. That's what's giving us more money. So the longer we let these reentries go in, the more rake we get. The more levels we put in, the more rake they get. And on the side of the players, they're looking at, it's $1 million guarantee out there, you know? So is this really killing the ecosystem? Is this really something we should change? Rob Young says he's going to do it. He had a conversation with, you know, a little back and forth between him and Phil Nagy, saying, like, yeah, let's change it, and let's get all the other people to change it.
Yep.
Nagy's saying, like, I've been trying to talk to, you know, all these guys for a while. Like, help me. Let's get together. Let's have this conversation. What are we gonna do?
I don't see how ACR leads the charge in this.
Well, at the end of the day, like, look, we could love ACR or hate ACR. Like, they have a market share, and it's not that small.
Yeah, but,
You know?
like, those guarantees start getting cut in half because the registrations are shortened and reentry goes down.
Yeah.
They're not going to have that market share anymore, right? Like, people aren't going to show up to ACR to play the same events that they're playing on WSOP. They're not going to show up for a 40. Understand that every Tuesday of the 40K is the biggest guarantee that WSOP is running on a regular schedule, right?
Right.
Imagine that's what ACR becomes. Nobody's going to show. The rec money disappears. So, like, the guarantees are a big part of these companies' marketing.
Yeah.
And it's important for them to be able to put up big ones and continue to draw eyes. I really wanted to have Pads on for this because I like his take. I think that he's right. I think we're looking, I mean, I've been saying this for months now. I think we're looking at an online event, let's call it. I don't want to call it the apocalypse. I don't know that this is where it crumbles, but we're looking at an economical event that is certain to take a turn towards some sort of reduction, right? Whether that's a reduction in the ecosystem and the amount of money that's available, or it's a reduction in the volume that these sites can offer, or it's a reduction in the guarantee. Something has to give. We are right at the precipice of the same bubble that Full Tilt artificially created pre-Black Friday, right? I don't know if people remember, but they were the first to really initiate the
rebuys and
the re-entries, right? You could
that was like right before they were trying to get that money grab.
Yeah, and they did it in a unique way where like you could actually just fire multiple times in the same tournament and then combine your stacks.
That's wild.
So you could have like 5 entries in the same event, and as they survived, like if you had 3 of them make the final table, they just combined to 1.
That's so wild.
Yeah, but it's so negative EV now that like we look back on it.
Yeah.
So, you know, we're kind of in the same situation where everybody's striking while the iron's hot because of the COVID opportunity, and people are home, and but people are out of work. You know, economies are collapsing or on the verge of collapse worldwide. That doesn't leave a lot on the bone for poker. So either these sites are short-sighted and they're saying like, we're going to get what we can now while there's money to get, and then just deal with the fallout later, or they just aren't seeing the forest through the trees the way Rob is and the way Nagy is, I guess, claiming to.
Rob says he sees it, but Party Poker, 100 million guarantee.
Mm-hmm.
It's no, is he playing the game too? Like we see the graphic, it says 100 million guarantee. It's up there. They partner with WPT, just like GG partnered with WSOP. They're all like gearing up with their squad. Like they're squatting up. It's like the fucking Crips and Bloods out there. Like it's no joke. Like I don't know who the Latin Kings are, but I'm rolling with them.
These are special events though. They should come with a big guarantee. Like they should get people hype. I think what Pad's point is that these are now occurring every week, and they're just like lasting for a month. Like we've had a massive guaranteed series every single week since COVID began on some site, right? And Pad's point is that, from high stakes down to low, this is just too much. This is too much. Stables are going to break. We're going to see players get broken, and the sites are just eventually going to vacuum up all the money. So I really liked his take on the current state of affairs. What I was most interested in talking to him about was how he foresaw us coming out of it, because I think his view is a lot more optimistic than mine. He was basically saying that we would just see this corrective process take place, and the market would, in essence, correct. There would be less rebuys, there would be re-entries, guarantees may take a short-term hit, but eventually would recover. Late entry would be reduced, which Party Poker is already taking a lot of these steps, and seemingly with positive results. I saw Rob tweet out yesterday or today that they've reduced the re-entry levels by 1 every day for the last X amount of days on one specific tournament on Party.
Oh, and they're like seeing the data.
Yeah, and the guarantees has still been met. It's still been supported. So I think they've reduced it all the way down to 6 levels now, and his plan is to get it down to 4, I believe, or 5, something like that. And the guarantee hasn't budged. So people are still showing up. They're just showing up a little bit earlier. Obviously, sites need to figure out a way to incentivize early registration, because right now, late registration is too incentivized. But
right, the GGs did that a little bit with like they're having their bubble protection. If you show up on time and you bubble the tournament, you get your buy-in back. The chat is saying like maybe we should have Phil Nagy on this podcast. I know.
It's just Nagy's like talking to Helmuth or Matusow, right? It's just like I've seen that interview with Ingram.
Yeah,
and it's hard to have an open, honest, vulnerable conversation with somebody who's only interested in pushing an agenda. And I'm not accusing him of anything. He's a businessman. That should be what his agenda is. It's just like, what do we get out of it? Like basically we put ourselves in a position where either I try to get an I gotcha moment, or we just give him a platform to basically push whatever the hell he wants the public to believe.
What do you think that is?
That ACR is an up-and-coming site that can compete with the big boys, and that he's doing everything above board, and that botting is not an issue, and that all of these things that we perceive to be an issue just are not a thing. I think that I think that ACR has a path to being a major player. I just think their infrastructure is way behind, and because the money is coming so freely, it's not being addressed. It constantly gets band-aided where he's just like, we'll deal with that when it happens. We'll deal with, you know what I mean? Like, Nagy's a one-man show. He's putting out so many fires so often. I know what it's like, man. I get it. But like at some point, you just have to press pause and say, like, I'm going to build the proper infrastructure, the proper security, the proper teams in place. We're making enough money where I can pay third parties to handle this type of shit.
Yeah.
To get rid of the bots, and you know, he's made efforts for sure. But like, we're lying to ourselves if we're of the impression that this is just like a straight on the up and up site that we have as much confidence in as we do PokerStars. There's a reason PokerStars is still number one.
Yeah. Yeah. People trust PokerStars.
Right.
People trust it.
ACR's rest of world. Why aren't they number one?
Yeah. Yeah. People heavily trust PokerStars.
They're the only rest of world site that's in America. They should be number one.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. That's a good point. Like they're the only rest of world site that gets American players in, you know, and it's interesting. I'm curious what he would say. I'm actually going to review the kind of interview again with Join Groom because I remember watching it. I don't remember exactly what he said, but I remember him being like a little bit like, I'm trying, but like not really saying like what.
That's my point. That's my point. If you're not going to be transparent and vulnerable, then it's just a bunch of hot air. And I don't want to hear. I don't want to have an interview with him where he's saying like, we're trying all of these things and we're innovating and I promise you it's going to be bot free and it's going to be this and it's going to be that. Because now my job as an interviewer is to say bullshit, right? Show me the receipts. And now you're putting him in an uncomfortable situation where it's like, I'm just going to back you into a corner if you don't come with cold, hard evidence, right? And I don't want to be a gotcha reporter. That's not the point of this podcast. We're not Anderson
Cooper.
You
were gonna say Anderson Silva? You know,
no, I don't know who I was gonna say. I was gonna say like Stewart. No. I just what I was gonna say was a silver fox.
The silver fox.
Yeah,
that's funny, man. Yeah, man. I mean, I guess I'm like cautiously optimistic. Like I like what they have to offer. I would love to see it be clean. You know,
yeah.
I don't know. Like at the end of the day, I'm like kind of like turning a blind eye, like hoping that I'm not running into bots and like hoping that the bots are just like not that good anyway. And like, it's going to be
If
fine.
we could quantify how much EV you lose to unfair edges, I think you would stop playing on there.
Oh, you know me.
And not just on there. Well, yeah, maybe you would just seek out the unfair edges.
No. That's not what I meant. I meant like, if I think I'm taking the worst of it, I'm out. Like, I'm like, wait a second, you guys took 5%?
And I'm not even just saying there. I'm sure that it's not just an ACR problem, but ACR is the only place that you can play, so I'm going to put a focus on it. If I could actually demonstrate to you how much you're losing between real-time assistance, botting, hand sharing, or like collusion amongst collectives.
Skype.
Yeah, basically all of the things that are definitely taking place in the online environment. You're not losing as much EV as the losing player probably is, but I promise you that you're not winning your expectation.
Yeah. Your expectations going down.
Yeah,
for everybody though.
Yeah,
a lot of people say like it's kind of like team versus team. It's like, you know, it's a lot.
I mean, I'm sure that that's true. I don't know enough about what's going on behind the scenes, like in these big stables but I just know that like not everybody's operating with integrity. I trust that Pads does because he's created a public persona that makes me want to trust him. And he also like hasn't done anything to make me call it into question. But the fact of the matter is, it's the exact same thing that we were talking about with the WSOP stream. When 30 guys are grinding in the same room, the same schedule, the opportunity to cheat is there. The integrity has already been breached.
What can the sites do? Because like a lot of recreational players
you can do what WSOP does, but there's workarounds. That's the problem.
Right. Well, a lot of people think this. Like, you know, I have conversations with recreational players, like wealthy ones too, and they're like they even ask me honestly, like straight up, they're like, "Can I grind with you? Because if I make a final table, I want you there."
Yeah.
Like. It's that open.
Yeah.
Like, that's a crazy statement.
Yeah, and that's a problem.
Literally asking me to, like, help them when they make the final table.
Right.
Because they understand that that's how it works.
Right. And that's the problem. It's like, you know, going back to, like, these grind houses and these stables, it's like, I'm not accusing anybody of anything. But understand that you, as the person operating these grind houses and stables, what you're asking me as a fellow consumer is to trust your integrity. That's not fair. That's not fair because we could just set up systems in place where you just can't force that trust onto me. In a free market, I shouldn't have to trust anybody, right? I should trust that the system is just and fair and that there's no workarounds to compromise the fairness of it all, right? And the fact of the matter is, whenever we're just assuming that 30 people in a house grinding the same schedule aren't sharing anything to give themselves edge, it's really unfair to those who aren't in that house, right? Yeah. And that extrapolates. That extrapolates out to botting. That extrapolates out to real-time assistance. That extrapolates out to all of this technology that's being developed, right? Everybody can point to it and say like, oh, it's not an issue because I'm still winning at a really high rate and online is still soft. It's like, yes, those two things are absolutely true, but they are independent of the fact that this other problem is currently existing and other people aren't you. Other people aren't as good as you, right? So now the break-even slight winner turns into the break-even slight loser. The slight loser to moderate loser turns into the whale. The whales cease to exist, right? Like,
and then if you're really good and have real-time assistance, you just become like a god.
Right.
Shout out to Linus Love.
Why?
I'm just saying, man, I've heard.
What is this, the rumor mill now?
I don't care. I say how it is, man. I'm the realest fucking podcaster in poker. Like, you know, I don't care. Like, Joey's my man, but like, he's not just going to say it. He's like, allegedly this, allegedly that. I said it. Like, yo, my man probably had real-time assistance. Like, whatever, man. It is what it is. Like, if not, then it's on him to, like, you know, say like, yo, my reputation is important.
It's not, though. It's not on him to prove. Like, that's an unfair burden of proof, I think. Because we could just throw out allegations at anybody that's good.
Yeah, that's true.
What I think is worth acknowledging is the fact that the way people get excellent at this game tends to be through the lens of seeing data at scale, right? So it's like, where's the line drawn? Is it drawn at real-time assistance? Is it mass data acquisition, right? Because like, we're close with Nick Howard. They run a stable of people who are doing mass data analysis, right? That is a lot of information, right? When you can have the 10,000 foot view of what the entire pool does based on 500 million hands, you're going to get somewhat perfect information as a response, right? You're going to see somewhat perfect trend lines exist.
So talk to me about that. So you're saying Nick Howard, Poker Detox, they're gathering these huge data
They're just
sets.
buying it.
They're buying it.
Right.
And that's against terms of service, isn't it?
I don't know. And that's the thing. Well, I mean, maybe, but maybe not on the sites that they play on.
That's true.
And the thing is
like
that
we remember. Sorry to cut you off.
go ahead.
Like we remember when Brian Hastings bought the
Isildur.
He bought the hands from Brian Townsend and played Isildur and had that information. Went on to beat Isildur for millions.
Yep.
End up saying like, okay, this is against terms of service. They both canceled their red pros.
It also felt particularly bad because it was a solo event singling out one individual.
Yeah.
Mass data acquisition is taking place at scale. The last upswing course, there was a how to beat OTB. Was it OTB?
Yeah, OTB
or
Red
Linus?
Baron. OTB Red Baron.
Yeah, whichever one it was. I can't remember the kid's name who made the course, but he went on Ingram and he said like he felt a little remiss having created it because he just bought the hands. He just bought the hands, combed through a solver, and said like, here's where he's exploitable.
That's crazy.
And then he kind of like brushed it off and said like, oh, well, he's so good. I'm kind of doing him a favor demonstrating his weaknesses and he'll just get better. And sure, like that could be true.
But you're also like costing him a lot of money.
Yeah, it's like it was fucking working. It was fucking working. He doesn't want to get better. He wants people to not know that this is where he's susceptible. Right? It's like, that's fucked up.
Feels unfair.
It feels super unfair, but like it's happening at scale. And these are the problems that I think online faces that people are unwilling to accept. Right? Like
I believe his name was Kanu 7.
Yep. Yeah.
I think he retired too.
Yeah, but he was like doing really well at high stakes six max or heads up. I can't recall. Maybe both. Prior to retiring, and he just had like a skill set to take data and analyze it. And you know they created a course out of that. That's great. I think it'll probably help people. I don't know. I didn't watch it, but what we're getting at here is where's the line drawn between skill and just being spoon-fed information, right? Like being able to critically analyze data to a point where you derive pretty optimal strategies doesn't take a whole lot of work or genius, right? It just takes the data. And it seems that sites, people give World Series a lot of shit because you can't get your hand histories. You can't run a HUD. You can't do all these things. But they're protecting from a lot of these pitfalls. And I think more online sites need to lean into that. It's like all of the players will say like, well, we can't catch cheaters if we can't look for anomalies. It's like, what do you think's happening at a greater scale? Cheating or people purchasing hands to go out and exploit the entire pool and suck up all the money?
So your argument is that we're just in a different time. Back in the day, like on Ultimate Bet, on Absolute Poker, there wasn't this there wasn't these things that we needed to.
Well, the
protect
security
from.
was corrupt,
right? It was more important to protect from cheating because that was more rampant rather than protecting people from having huge data.
It was more important to protect from cheating because we didn't realize how powerful the data was yet. Number one, number two, all of these sites were operating in the gray, and we didn't know how far we could trust them. So there was just a lot of room for corruption. When you look at WSOP, they are regulated by Nevada and New Jersey gaming. They have an oversight or an overseeing board. The security has to be to a certain standard. We should just trust that they will find the cheating and instead slow down the ability for people to just become a super user themselves because they have perfect information.
What would you say to people that would make the argument that poker is data? Like poker is just like the interpretation of data and being able to input that data to solve. Right?
It is.
Into you being able to
Yes,
solve.
as a human. It's not it's not meant to be a game that collects data at a robust rate from high volume situations and then runs it through AI. That's not fair, right? Poker in its truest form is played live. That's the way the game originated. That's the way that the game is most fair because our ability to collect unbiased data, process it, and turn it into strategy is flawed. We can't do it. No matter what, we'll never be able to do it. Chess is the same way. I don't care how studied you are, Magnus or beyond, you'll never be able to parse the data the same way that an engine can.
So you're saying, to compare this to like outside of poker, you're saying when people buy hands, it's similar to Bill Belichick just like filming the practice.
Yep. You just get an insight of your opponent.
Packers or whatever.
You just get insight to your opponent's game. You literally get to see their strategies unfold, right? And in the case of this OTB course, it's literally one person again. So just think about that. Brian Townsend lost his Red Pro status and basically was considered to be a cheat and a thief for a long period of time because he fleeced Isildur, who was just playing off sheer and utter raw talent, right? These guys couldn't figure out a way to beat his talent. So they just dug through the data and found where he was weak, right? Some may call them innovators. They may say that they're geniuses for doing so. They saw a spot, they took it down, right? Now, there's a course on Upswing that literally did the exact same thing to OTB Red Baron.
Brian Townsend and Brian Hastings. All right, don't trust Brian's. I got that part.
No, you're missing my point.
No. I get what you're saying. I'm just adding this to the bucket.
No, but like they were crucified in the community. Now it's being sold as a course on a training site.
Yeah, that's crazy.
To take down one of the best players online.
That's wild.
Right? It's a 1-to-1 comparison.
Yeah.
The only difference is now Keanu is basically saying like anybody could have bought these hands.
Keanu. It's not Keanu.
What
That's
was it,
Keanu
Kanu?
Reeves.
Kanu?
Like Keanu Reeves is the fucking Matrix.
It's one vowel. Kanu.
Yeah, Kanu 7.
Yeah. So he's basically just saying like anybody could have bought these hands. Anybody could have done this work. And that's fair. But is it? Because you've done this work for scale now for people to purchase.
It feels wrong, right? It
Feels
just
bad.
feels wrong.
It feels disincentivizing to have anybody curate talent and play online.
Someone gave you. I don't know if I want to go into this.
But you're good.
I got all the hands
Yep.
from your enemy, Garrett Adelstein.
Not my enemy.
You know, and he's done well against you on stream. I got all of his hands. I've gone through every single live at the bike hand that he's played. I've run it through the solvers. I run it through multiple I went through simple post flop. I went through Monker. I went through Pio. I did them all. I sent them to the stables. They spit back. I sent them to Poker Detox. They spit back, and it's all right here.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna sell it to you for a pretty low price of $10,000. Mm-hmm. Would you consider that, or do you think that's cheating? And if I have that, one of the best players, live pros in the universe, I could end his career, and then people might buy it. Do you think that should just be like not a thing? Like that's not.
If that were presented to me, and I know that this is definitely speaking from a moral soapbox, so I want to preface this as I'm just telling you my honest to God truth answer. I would not only not buy it, I would do my damnedest to help Garrett police it and like try to take down that operation. I just think that it's not in the spirit of the game to me, right? Like it's just it's not doing anything to grow the health of the game long run or to protect the ecosystem. It's only hurting it. It disincentivizes Garrett from ever playing on TV again. That's a loss to the community.
And he didn't want to at first.
Right.
Long time.
Right. And with good reason if this is going to be the case, right? Because you can't run from the data. I can manipulate things in real time for what your eyes see. And I can consciously say, okay, I know he saw me do something exploitative, and I can make a correction. I can never run from the data. If you pull 200,000 hands and say Berkey overcalls river by 10%, I can never change that. If I become aware of it, I can start calling river a little less, but it's not going to hurt you all that much for the strategy that you're employing, right? So like the corrective action that I can take based on the data is minimal. Well, not minimal necessarily, but it takes a whole reworking or retooling of my strategy, right? And I have to be aware of the data and the fact that like people know the data. And then I also have to be aware of who knows of the data. Because if my current strategy is winning X and a corrective strategy is winning like maybe X -1 versus the field, but it's maintaining my win rate against the people who have this exploitative information against me, what do I do, right? Do I protect myself versus the people who know, or do I continue to win more versus all of those who don't?
If you haven't signed up for S4Y TV, for $9.99, I have a course that's called How to Beat Matt Berkey. It's on the site. It's there. I don't know if it'll work today, but I'm sure it'll make you better. Sure it'll make you better.
Shameless plug.
Hey, it's there. It's a real thing. You know, wish we had a graphic. I should have prepared. I didn't know I was going to get into this conversation.
Sure.
All right, Matt Berkey. I'm running out of topics.
That's good. We're running out of time. We got 30 minutes.
That's a lot of topics, man. That's a lot of topics. All right, so you give me what you wanted. We could talk about a president of Las Vegas casino dies. We could talk about COVID. That's it.
I thought this was your show, bro.
But we only have 30 minutes.
First of all, they're semi-related, I think.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Okay. I guess we could talk about COVID because it's still going on. Not going anywhere. The rumor was that they were going to shut down Las Vegas. I don't know if that's going to happen. Things are going strong. You were at Aria yesterday. You were balling out of control at Aria. You were just like in the club, like
That was nice.
Yeah, the girls look good in the club.
Nah, playing live again was nice.
What were you playing live in?
25, 50, 100, which turned into 100, 200, 400.
Yeah, I was invited, and then like that wasn't gonna happen. I can't afford that.
You pussed out.
Well, yeah, I would have pussed out. Oh yeah, we're just playing 1, 2, 4. You know, your standard game. You know,
It turned into that.
it always turns into that.
That's
Berkey.
fine.
Do you understand?
That's fine.
You understand? Like mentally, when you tell me, yo, it's 25, 50, I'm like, okay, it's 25, 50, 100, and like someone's gonna get stuck.
Yeah.
And then it's like 25, 50, 100 with like a round of 200. Like I was there. I've been there. I know how those games. I went to Texas. I put the 800 on.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was that game.
Yeah. Okay. I know how that game is. Like
You played that game.
Yeah, but I didn't always put the 800 on. Like
Right.
in this situation, the
I
400.
didn't always put the 400 on.
Yeah, well, you know, you probably did. I know you, Burke. You don't just like not put the 400 on if like your left puts a 400 on. You're like, I'm not gonna be like. I know how you think because this is how I think too. Sometimes if the guy's on my right that's bad, I always put the straddle.
Yeah.
Because I want it to be expensive for everyone else to get in, but he's gonna play.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So like if I was there, I might have put the 400, but I just can't afford it. I just can't afford it. Maybe I would start a Patreon account and just be like, sell my soul.
Yeah, you talk a lot of shit about wanting to get in these games, and then I get a nice little berry patch for you. I go, yo,
It's
Chin's
too
coming. They're
big.
like, all right, Chin's coming. Let's go. Let's have him.
All
I
right.
bought him for 15K.
Okay, I could afford that.
Yeah. Bought him for 50, left with 55. No, 40, 50.
Okay, 15K I can do. I'm gonna write that down. Tell my mom to send it over.
Right.
15K I can do.
Take it out of the fund.
Yeah, take it out of the Dominican fund.
Yeah, it was a good day. Won 33,000 live, won 12,000 online. It's a good day.
Very good day. You want like a
I've been bitching to you about this too. You should be in these games on WSOP. The 10, 20, 25, 50 games are very, very good.
I don't want to give up my data.
Nobody's collecting it.
Just
This site's protected. Get off ACR. They're collecting all your data.
Okay. I spoke to the person yesterday. And he's like, yeah, we're gonna play again. And so I told him I'll play.
All right.
We'll see. Don't try to flex on me, bro. I'll play. All right. So you were there in the midst of all of COVID.
Yeah.
You were just like, I don't care. I put on my. Did you wear a mask?
You have to. It's mandatory. Statewide, it's mandatory. It's bleak, man. I can't believe there are people. There was like 4 tables running. There was a point where there wasn't even a cashier.
Not Bellagio though, man. Bellagio's popping though.
Is it?
Yeah, Bellagio's full every day. Every day.
Well, it can't be. I mean, it's not.
It's full
right?
to
It's
capacity
yeah.
that's allowed.
Yeah.
Like the lists are long.
Yeah, I know people want to play. I get it. I'm just saying, like, it's like, I think I was there for 5 hours and the waitress came once. I think there's like one waitress working the entire casino.
Wow, you didn't get your coconut water or watermelon?
I don't worry. I bring water, man. I'm good. I'm just saying that, like, it's a tough way to operate a business. Like, they're definitely operating at like 30% right now. And it's not going away anytime soon. We're seeing a big rise again. Nevada's like a fucking, especially Vegas is like the epicenter of people coming, getting sick, and then just we're the new Florida.
Wow.
We're the spring break version of Florida, where they had that map of all the young kids who came to spring break and then just dispersed amongst the country and spread COVID coast to coast.
Yeah, clearly they went to Arizona because that's where all the spike is. Okay, so we have a couple stats. A couple help me translate. The doctors called in, the WHO called in, and they're in my ear and they want me. Okay, wait. Okay, so put up the stat of hospitalizations, please. Okay, here we go. All right, so this is the stat of current hospitalizations. So hospitalizations have gone down, right? So a lot of people point to this and say like, okay, that's pretty good.
Yep.
You know, hospitalizations gone down. But it's kind of a flawed metric because that doesn't mean the overall cases have gone down. Like, it just means the people in the hospitals have gone down.
Okay. But that's still a very good event. Our biggest concern is that the hospitals will be overrun and people won't be able to get other medical care.
Yeah.
So a reduction in hospitalization is certainly a very positive event. But I think that we're in a lull right now also, where the reopenings are mostly like 2-3 weeks old. And usually it takes like 4 to 6 weeks to start seeing that uptick in deaths, uptick in hyper illnesses and things of that nature. So I think we're going to end up like Arizona. I think the casinos are going to have to shut down again. All of Arizona opened with the same protocol as Vegas, and they're certainly not getting the same tourism as Vegas. And it took 2 weeks before they completely shut back down.
Yeah, I'm not happy about it. I'm about to go to DR.
You want to be in the DR during a pandemic? That's the hospital choice you're going to make? We need to get the fuck out of Vegas, though. The hospitals here are trash.
Vegas hospitals are not great. I think
It's like I think it's like 50th or 49th nationwide in medical care.
I'm going to LA. I'm going to LA. I'll deal with the gangs, but I'm not dealing with the COVID.
Right.
That's how it works.
Yeah.
We have exactly 399 viewers right now. Call your mom, man. Call somebody. Call somebody. Get in here. Like, help us get to 400.
400 is nice.
Yeah, man. People like these topics. People like poker. People like shit. All right. So, second thing is there was a lot of talk of like, oh, underlying health conditions, and you know, if you have this, then you're more likely to get that, and like you're more likely to die if you have high blood pressure or if you use something like this. But like now we're seeing that it's kind of all over the place, man. It's like we can't really get a pulse. Right now, who's telling me to put up this different stats of. So if you're listening on any other platform, we're putting up a stat of pretty much just saying that everything is all over the place. Like if you are pregnant, there's like this thing. Like if you have hypertension, it's this. Like effectively, everything's just all over the place. It doesn't really show that we have reliable indicators of like this is going to cause death or this is going to cause major hospitalization. Like it's just kind of all over the place. Does that scare you a little bit? Like,
I mean, I don't think that that's what that graph said. I think that graph was like pretty telling. It seemed as though for pediatrics or children, the main underlying precondition was asthma, and then unknown or no condition was pretty relevant. But what could be misleading about these stats is how many pediatric deaths there were. So 43% of pediatric deaths have an unknown underlying condition, but maybe only like 1% of COVID deaths are pediatric. I don't know. I just threw that number out there. But if it's a super low percentage of people dying from COVID are actually pediatric, then yeah, there's not a lot to pull from that because we're not getting a very big sample. And, you know, with the adults, like the underlying conditions were seemingly all over the place. But the thing I noticed that was low was immunosuppressant and autoimmune disease. So I imagine that includes things like MS and things like that. That I think is a good thing to notice because I think that there are probably a lot of people out there that are super worried that they have an underlying condition. And it's nice to know that it's the more traditional underlying conditions that are most susceptible, right? Because now, I think initially we were super concerned that anybody who's ever had their immune system suppressed in any sort of way, shape, or form is hypersensitive to not just getting COVID, but dying, more specifically dying, right? They're probably still super susceptible to getting it, but it's nice to know that they're not necessarily going to die. It's unfortunate to know that people with high blood pressure, people with heart disease, people who are obese, you know, the standard people that are, you know, plagued by illness in this society are more prone to die. That is that correlation or causation? Like we don't know, right? Like that's where I think it's critical to not draw a line in the sand and say like this disease specifically targets this type of underlying condition. It's like, well, that underlying condition in and of itself breeds mortality.
Yeah, I can see that.
Right? Does that make sense?
Yeah. Trying to choke me out over here, man. All right. Antibodies. That was like the whole big rave, you know, like, oh, let's get the antibodies. Like everyone's going to be like herd immunity or whatever. So Spain ran this study, right, of 30,000 households, ends up having roughly 60,000 people, right? They were one of the worst people hit by this, right? Yeah. So all these people ended up having like COVID, and then like they tested all of them, all this stuff, and then only 5% of them ended up having herd immunity. That's a really low number, like in terms of like getting this thing to be solved through that metric.
Yeah.
Is that something we should just like give up on then?
No, I mean, herd immunity will be achieved at some point, but like, yeah, it's not going to happen before a vaccine.
Yeah.
So I don't think anybody was investing in the idea that we're going to achieve herd immunity. or at least I hope not. Judging by the fact that the companies or the country's still mostly shut down, I don't think anybody believes that to be true. So yeah, there's still just a lot we don't know. We beat this horse to death, but like more data is going to continue to come out. Smarter people than us are going to parse through it. Hopefully, they're going to give it an objective response rather than some sort of political spin or other narrative being pushed. And we're just going to have to do our due diligence and try to take it for what it's worth.
What do you think about the political spin? Like a lot of people are saying, like, health shouldn't be political. Like medicine shouldn't be political.
It's an election year, right? It's so hard for it not to. And this directly correlates to the economy. So this pandemic is a one-to-one correlation to how our economy is going to proceed in the foreseeable future. And that is absolutely political. That is the backbone of what's going to drive this election, right? So it's really difficult for it not to be taken that way. It's weird to see the divisiveness where like one side is saying it's a scam, it's all hyperbole, and this virus isn't impacting anybody, and then the other side saying like this could effectively abolish humans as we know it.
Berkey, you have hypothetically in this next sentence I'm about to say, you have a kid that's 21 years old.
Sure.
He's your own, baby Berkey. What would you name him? What would be your son's first name?
Don't know.
Okay, we'll leave that up to the girls out there that are thinking about you. So, John Berkey.
My dad.
All right, well, that you named him after your dad. That's what's up. Jon, the new.
That's my middle name.
Modern name, yeah.
Yeah.
The biblical and shit.
Non-biblical.
The non-biblical version.
Right.
Okay. I didn't read the Bible that much, honestly.
Sure.
I don't even,
Sure.
Is there like a special John verse?
Yeah, he was a disciple.
No, but like in the Bible, like is a John verse, like John 3:16 or what was it, something like that?
I think so, yeah.
I only know like Ja Rule, like he had an album and it was like something like 3:16, and that's the only reason. Like that was a good album, man. That was like back in the day when like I'm not gonna sing it, but whatever, you know what I'm saying? Okay. So John with an H, he goes and says like, "Hey, Dad, I want to play poker just like you, high stakes, and there's a good game at Bellagio, but there's this thing called COVID going on. Should I go play?" And you, as Mr. Integrity,
Sure.
what would you say? Like, what would you say? Like, he's your kid. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, he's, in my opinion, he would be super low risk. So it's probably fine as long as he's like protecting himself. My bigger concern is like reducing spread. So it's like, if this is your livelihood, then sure, fine. Wear a mask, wash your hands, sanitize, whatever. Just don't bring that shit home, kind of thing. I think it's very similar to like the AIDS pandemic. Well, I don't know if we can call AIDS a pandemic, but like the AIDS epidemic. People didn't stop having sex. You don't just shut your life down. You start to take precautionary measures, and education becomes paramount. And I think like we're getting to that point now with COVID where we're still just getting so much misinformation that it's difficult to educate the masses. And because of the lack of information, we just have to take a lot of preventative care, and some of that is born out of scare tactics. So like maybe the masks help a ton, maybe they don't help that much, but it's better safe than sorry.
Yeah. Absolutely. I completely agree. If you're out there, Berkey's going to be a good dad. So you've been putting out what?
I just don't know where you were going with that.
I'm giving you a compliment.
I don't know where you're going with that.
I'm literally about to switch topics.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make you a lot comfortable. I'm gonna ease your concerns and say I'm gonna switch topics. A lot of people like when we get into the dating talk and like see like your.
Yo, we got a meeting in 12 minutes, bro.
I know we got you know who the meeting's with?
Yeah.
All right, well I'll let them know too. All right, the meeting is with Christian Mingle. And we're going to talk about all the Johns and all the disciples and everything that we're going to name these babies after. And like Berkey said, people not going to stop having sex.
Right.
And we're going to help them with that.
Yeah.
So the meeting's in 12 minutes. So I'm going to wrap up the show soon enough after I show this video Berkey's been putting out a lot of these videos called Is It GTO? And I want you all to watch it. And if you could support it, Berkey puts it out every single day or almost every single day lately.
I'm doing it weekly now.
Okay. He switched it to the weekly. Got to give the man a break. But show it some love. Like it if you see it on Instagram. If you like it if you see it on Twitter. And of course, subscribe. Like the channel. We peaked 400. Somebody told somebody about this. So really enjoy it. Thank you all for the support. I'm going to close out with the Is This GTO video. I will not be returning after that. If you are watching this on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anything like that, understand we're about to play a video of Is It GTO. If you want to watch it, go to Berkey's Twitter. It'll be on there. But with that said, we're out of here. Enjoy the video.